Alright, so what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna go grab the four-wheeler. We gotta pump the tires up, and then we're gonna head to the woods, and I'm gonna check, the normal stuff. I'll check the gifting box, and then we'll check and see if the peanut butter's been messed with. But then we're gonna follow the creek, and we're gonna look for some prints today, because it did rain a whole bunch at the end of last week. I don't know if there's gonna be anything, but we're gonna look. I'm only gonna go so far too. I'll point it out when we get there, and then we'll have to cut back up in the woods because it does come out to where the swamp is. And I got stuck when I was up there with Brian and all them, so I'm not gonna walk through there again. I'm going to we're just gonna cut over. You'll see when we get there. All right, so apparently dickhead's got a fucking trail cam up here now. That's got to be moved. This is gonna fuck everything up. Let me guess. Yeah. This will probably start a whole heap of shit, but you know what? Don't fuck with my study site. So, this will be interesting because I just took that down because that ain't gonna fucking work. You can't have a game cam right at my study site, dude. Now that was just recently put up here in the last week, so that ain't gonna fly. So I'm gonna have to have an awkward conversation with my mom's boyfriend later. Yeah, you gotta tell dickhead, because I really don't like him. He is a dickhead that he can't have. Yeah, this thing's just getting more and more torn up. He's got to find another spot for his game camera. Like, I'm gonna tell him, it's whatever if you want to come out and hunt. But I've had to, sorry, might be a little rough for once, but it's like, you can't fucking do that. That makes me that mad as a biologist, because it's like the study site's been running for months. And he's never around. Very few things will get me fired up, but do not fuck with my data. Like, it's that simple. Nothing there yet. I mean, that's a long shot. Sorry, I'll stop dropping F-bombs now. That just really, really fires me up. You know what? That looks like more bear scat. Look how open it is up here now, though. And I'm just gonna tell him, be like, look, I've got a YouTube channel going. I've got quite a number of people now to follow my research. He has to find another he has to find another spot for that. It's that plain and simple. But yeah, as we come down here, so you can see how much of a drop that is. But when we come down, you see what I was talking about? I pointed this out to Brian and them too. You see how that's like, we got that tree that's broken, comes down. You see it's like broken, it comes down into the center of that. I don't know, it just looks weird. And see, there's a trail that runs here too. Now what we're gonna do though, is we're gonna come down in. We found a whole bunch of stuff back here, like food-wise. So audio will be interesting to see if I get anything out for the last week. But you can see, anyhow, back to what we're doing. So the water runs, this is like a bowl, and it runs down through here. And it's crazy, because this isn't so bad. But wait till you see how much the water's gouged out. Well, see, we were moving so fast when Brian and them were here, and it's not their fault. Like, we're just trying to cover a lot of space. So I didn't notice that there is a path that leads up to that. Oh, you know what? Maybe that was the end of the woods back where we were. Look, you can see the sky back there. So maybe that was the end where we got that day. Now, kind of watching what I'm really doing now. You'll notice. Because I don't know. Maybe that's just a tree that came down, but why does it look like there's a bunch of shit just thrown there? You know what I mean? I don't know what that tree would have looked like when it was standing though either. I'm just goose for Boz. I keep like saying to myself mentally. I wish I'd have come up from behind it now. I just turned it off. Man, that was loud. But that was sneakily put there. Because I was up here on Thursday and it wasn't there. Okay, so I'm also looking while I'm being quiet for a minute to figure out. You see there's deer tracks. I thought I could pull on that vine, but I can't. So this runs down here a ways. this is really soft. And look at that. There's another tree wedged. I'm gonna have to go up there and check that out. Oh, look. This wasn't there when we were through here last time. That's been... I'm like, no, that's in the ground. See, when it gets quiet like this too, is when I'm like, what's going on? Let's go. Here, which I've never been up here. Never been on this side. Oh, look at that, it all opens up. Oh, wow. Now there's another tree back there up off the ground. I don't know, maybe that fell over. I'm saying because I see something else I want to check out too. I'm like, so where did this come from? I know I'm like breathing heavy. This is a hard workout. But because look, if it would have come off, that didn't come off here because look, that runs and connects to that. So where did that come from? Something just went over there. I don't know if that was a squirrel or what that was. There's something over in there. But I don't know where that came from. This is crazy how open this is. I know it was logged at one point. But that does not look like it fell. Where are the roots? There's no tree big enough that that would have come off of. That is a tree. It's things like that that are just weird because it's wedged. And if it would have fell from over there, where are the roots? Because those roots aren't from it. They're from that tree it's laying in front of it. Well, we were looking for prints. Now we're looking at other stuff. I'm also looking for more bear scat. eventually have to make our way back to the four-wheeler. I feel like a dick because I'm gonna have to wait till he comes home. Just have that game cam sitting there, you know. I'm like, whoever's this is, this ain't gonna work. It's gotta be moved. I mean, clearly you could see my audio recorder and stuff like 50 feet in front of it, but they didn't care, so that's also what makes me so mad. It was just a disregard, you know. And they don't even live here, and they're literally never here unless they want something. But it's not my property. If this would ever turn into my property, there'd be no more hunting, no more nothing. It would become a nature reserve. I've already thought about that. Nature reserve and working farm. This is wild back in here. So we're about halfway. Like if you're going like left and right on the tree line, we're about halfway, and I just went pretty much straight back. Oh yeah, because look, this is where this will feed out into the pond. Look at all these trails back here. So we would have been walking up in there. I mean, this is a pretty decent sized trail. Look, and there's another one that runs up there. Like runs up through. That's also why I laugh when people are like, where would they hide? I don't know, you come back here. You could live back here. I mean, that one spot back there was wide enough you could build like a tiny house. Yeah, so that's the edge of the woods. Oh, did you hear that? There went a chipmunk. See, I don't know, there's times like this too where it's like, that branch is broke, that's like, it looks woven almost, you know what I mean? Or like, look, there's a trail that clearly leads here, and there's another tree that's been bent over, and it's held there with that vine. And you can't say that vine grew naturally like that, because look, the vine was down on the ground, and it goes straight up. You know, now I'm actually glad that I come back here anyhow, just because of that game camera. Like, that is not gonna fly. I turned it off though. And that's fine, he can get mad and show up later, because I think I have cell service too. I'm only like bringing this up so much because if someone lets you come to their property and do like hunting or anything, don't be a dickhead like that, because that's beyond an asshole. That's just being a dickhead, because you could clearly see someone else had stuff set up there. And you're just going to shove your stuff there with no regard as to rather or not. You know, they were using that. I could spend a whole day back in here. I haven't seen any other possible signs of bear though. For once I was actually... You know, back in here would probably be a good spot. See, the problem is money. Hoping to get a decent job once I'm cleared to drive next month. And I can put some more audio recorders places. Because back in here would be great. And look, there's more trees that are bent. You see them? And look, we're gonna walk back there, but look, there's something else that's like up off the ground, like floating. You know what I mean? Like it was shoved somewhere. This is what I mean. Like, yeah, I agree with Brian and them. So a lot of it is gonna be natural. And I've continuously said that. But there's some stuff that it's like, come on, what are the odds? I mean, the good thing is, before we walk everywhere with this woods, it's easy go to not get lost because you just walk that way. I mean, since it is a bowl, there's really only one way in and one way out. Now, look at this. There's no way that's natural. No one in their right fucking mind can tell me this is natural. Look how far back in the woods this is. And look. That's put there. That's been bent over. Did you just hear that double knock? I wait till we walk over to that what I showed from a distance. That's not natural either. That's placed there. Okay, we need a recorder back here. But look, this is made. I don't know what this means, but that's absolutely not natural. And neither is this over here. Look. That's been placed there too. I'm hearing movement back in here though. Look how big that is. That's a good like 8 to 10 inches thick. Did you hear that knock? We'll probably get out of here soon. But there's no way. It's held up by those. It's woven into those almost. And the thing is, it's not even the same type of tree. Look, that would have to be a tree because of where that comes down. It's not a limb. And there's more stuff bent over right there too. Oh wow, that chipmunk was close. That chipmunk was right there. See, I can't tell if some of these are just things falling, like acorns and stuff, or if those are knocks. We're gonna start working our way back. I guess this is already like a 23-minute video, just this part. But yeah, that's not natural. No one in their right mind can tell you that's natural. That's all woven there. And that one back there is absolutely not. That looks like it was a tree that broke off and it was shoved up in there. While we go back though, see, there's all these, where it looks like there's a path, there's all these woods are like bent over. Like it almost makes like an archway for you to follow. I'm glad we came up this way. So this will be another section when Brian and them come back, because they said they'd love to come back, that we're gonna have to come up here and do like a thorough check. I know they're not sold on tree stuff. I am. Especially after having to do tree surveys. If you've ever been to Raccoon Creek or Raccoon State Park or whatever it is here in PA, I did tree surveys there. Oh wow, there's a pileated, not the bird, but see those holes, how big they are? Pileated will make those. Actually, I need to go around the tree this way. As we go back though, I do want to apologize about dropping some F-bombs and getting so fired up about that, but you know, that's one of the few things in life that'll get me that mad. That'll actually get me mad. It takes a whole heck of a lot to even do that. I think that's why I got so offended when people were trying, you know, when people initially accused me of hoaxing stuff, and I'm like, I don't think so. Any actual scientist would get offended at that. I didn't spend, you know, over a decade of my life, that's still me, by the way, you know, learning. Actually, why am I going that way? I could just step down in right here. You know, I didn't spend over a decade of my life doing this stuff. I mean, wildlife stuff. To start making crap up. Trying to take an easier way back. I also let this run for so long and don't edit it, because in case you guys catch anything that I didn't. Because, you know, I gotta pay attention to where I'm walking and stuff. I wonder what it's like up in there. And we're back at the study spot. Which I don't buy that this is natural either. Or that is, after seeing the other one that was placed. well, we're gonna wrap it up. And thanks for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.